goes between the legs and shoots. Scores! Scoville roots it over Corral. From Vernichak scores! Tic-tac-toe on the power play for the Czech Republic.
In Alberta on night 2 of the World Juniors. A win for the Czechs or Germany will go a long way to locking them up a spot in the quarterfinals. Now, they both expect to be there with Austria also in the group. So this game may well be about avoiding finishing 4th and facing the winner of Group B in the quarters. Hello, Canada, and welcome to our 3rd game of our 2nd night here at the World Junior Hockey Championship. James Duffy alongside Bob McKenzie. Still another game to come a little bit later on tonight from Red Deer. For a period and a half or so in night number 1, the Czechs, you could tell they smelled an upset over Canada, but then 3 straight penalties, a couple of Owen power play goals, and that was pretty much over. So they reversed the role tonight and come in as a favorite against a German team who gave Finland at least a little bit of a scare in their opener. To get you ready for it, Gordon Miller and Ray Ferraro.
James, the story before this tournament was who wasn't here for the Germans. High-end stars like Tim Stützle not available, and yet in their opener, Ray, you liked the German performance against the Finns.
I thought they played really well. I thought they were aggressive. They skated well. They hunted the puck. And talking to their coach, Toby Albstrider, today, he mentioned to us that he likes the depth of their team. They don't have that high-end Gord that we saw last year with Tim Stützle and J.J. Paterka. They don't have that type of offensive push, but what they have are players that can defend, strong players, and their best player, Munzenberger, their defenseman who scored their only goal on the power play, had a terrific night. They'll get a break today as the Czechs are banged up and they have a suspension as well. I think Germany gives them a really good game here.
Germany actually won the last meeting of this tournament in 2020, and as you mentioned, between injuries and suspensions, the Czechs only have 5 defensemen to start this game today.
All right, let's go through that, the suspensions and what is a critical injury.
Yeah, the injury one is the big one, and that is Czech defenseman David Jiricek, top 10 prospect for this year's National Hockey League draft, arguably the top defenseman. He and Simon Nemec from Slovakia, the 2 top-rated defensemen in this draft. He went knee on knee when he tried to hit Will Cooley in yesterday's game. He took the worst of it. It's a knee injury, probably out about 6 weeks, definitely gone for the entire tournament. A huge loss for the Czechs in the short term in this tournament. They're also without Mihail Radek, who got a 1-game suspension for that cross-check on Kent Johnson of Canada yesterday that put the Czechs down 2 men. They also had one more defenseman, Mihail Krutol, who was suspended for 2 games dating back to last year's World Junior Championship. Hence, with the injury and the 2 suspensions, 5D for the Czechs today.
The Czechs and the former Czechoslovakia had won their first 20 games against Germany at this tournament, but the Germans now have a little 2-game winning streak coming in to this one. And again, with Canada and Finland in this group, likely to finish 1st and 2nd, and Austria also in the group, this game likely for 3rd and 4th place, which of course matters when it gets to the quarterfinal round in the new year. We are getting ready for Germany and Czechia here from Edmonton. Game 3 of night 2 of the World Junior Hockey Championship. Dave Cameron had a lot of praise for the Czech team after the game with Canada, saying they kind of played a Russian roulette style of game where they're willing to give up chances to get them. And that usually makes for entertaining hockey. The drop of the puck next.
The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship is presented by Esso, proudly fueling Hockey Canada since 1984. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, we're using the power of our purpose to help make the world a better place. Together, let's make the future friendly. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Skip the Dishes. Cheer on our team in true Canadian style with your favorite order on Skip. the official food delivery app of Team Canada. It's game time, Canada. Let's get hungry. And by the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Back here in Edmonton is day 2 of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship as Germany takes on Czechia. The officials for this game are Riku Brandner from Finland, Christopher Holm from Sweden, the linesman Nick Briganti, and Andreas Hofer from the United States and Germany, respectively. Starting in goal for the Czechs is 19-year-old Jan Bednář, plays for Acadie Bathurst in the Quebec Major Junior League. He was a part of the team last year, did not play for the Czechs. And in goal for Germany, a returning goaltender as well, Florian Bugel, was named one of Germany's top 3 players last year. He plays for the Red Bull Academy in the Alps Hockey League. So a major challenge for Karel Mlejnek, the head coach of the Czechs, with just 5 D-men dressed. And Tobias Abstreiter has high hopes for this German group.
He thinks they can check. He thinks they have depth. He believes that this team can defend. The offense is going to have to come from across the board. He likes a lot about their team. Of course, they would like a little more zip at the top of the lineup, but those guys are in pro hockey.
Have a good one. And we're underway. Germany, as the home team, has the last change. Germany's actually won the last 2 meetings in this tournament, going back to 2013. Germans returned to the top division a couple of years ago. They were relegated in 2015. Took them 5 years to get back to the top division. Volek slides ahead. That pass broken up at center ice by Pavel Novak, who's a scoring sensation for Kelowna in the Western League, leading the team in scoring for the 2nd straight year.
Part of Germany's focus here has to be, if they can get in on the forecheck, to just continually bump these 5 Czech defensemen. You try to wear them down, maybe for an advantage late in the game.
Fabrizio Pilu moves out ahead, brought in now by Joshua Szymanski, and that's broken up by Stanislav Sposil, who scored a spectacular goal against Canada, the opener, going between the legs. As the Czechs got the 3-1 lead in the first period of that game. Here's Urban, Tomáš Urban, across to Sposil, slides the pass down, and now Urban with a chance, and that deflects up and out of play.
A block in front of the net as Schuber was able to get a foot on this. The Urban comes from the right side all the way up over the top to get loose here as this puck bounces off the sideboard. He's going to come right through across the slot. That's good offensive zone movement by Urban to come across to make himself available for the pass, and the shot is deflected up over the net into the netting.
Canada came back to tie that game at 3 in the first period, and then the Czechs had all kinds of penalty troubles in the second. That was the difference in the hockey game. 2 5-on-3 goals for Canada. Made all the difference. Bank pass ahead by Yannick Burkhardt. That's broken up. And back to pick it up is Adrian Klein. Maximilian Glotzen, who plays for Cologne in the DEL, the top German league. Slides that across to Bennett Rosmi. In comes Rosmi now, works in, shoots from a sharp angle. The save made by Bednář. Bednář in his 2nd year in the Quebec Major Junior League. Joined Acadie Bathurst after the tournament last year. And a chance now for the Czechs, breaking in, odd man rush. And a shot taken. Lubna with a chance, turned away by Bugel. Another chance off the outside of the goal, this time from Josef Kolacek. Tomáš Lubna did not play in the Czechs opener yesterday against Canada. Instead, Tomáš played in the 1992 World Junior Championship in Fusen, Germany. Well, the official got in the way. A German player ran into him. And the Czechs bring it out as Lubna sends it back down to the German zone. Alexander Blank dropped that back to Schubert, turned it over for a moment, and it's cleaned up by Luka Munzenberger. But the Germans ice the puck, and the faceoff will come back down to their zone.
Florian Bugel makes his first start of the World Junior Tournament. Played 3 games last year, had a couple of wins for the Germans. A sharp right pad save by Bugel as this shot comes from the outside. He stops it once, and then with the traffic in front, it hits a foot and comes back, and he's on top of that one too.
Like a lot of young German players, Ray, he plays at the Red Bull Academy in Salzburg, Austria. Kind of a hothouse for young players, especially from Germany and Austria.
Yeah, he's been there the last 5 years, so a lot of his development has come at that academy.
Yuri Kulik winds through a draft-eligible prospect, rings that around. Schubert trying to clear it, and that shot by Novak was knocked away. Pavel Novak trying to dig that free. And it's bumped away by Justin Volek, who plays it back to center. Here's Blank with it. Lifts that down to the Czech zone. The first man there is Schubert. Maximilian Schubert goes in on the forecheck and bumps into Svozil. And we've seen some early evidence, Ray, of the German tactic here to try to wear down that Czech defense.
Push it forward, get people on the puck. Even if you don't make contact, make them turn and go get it. It becomes a long night that way.
Szymanski forced a turnover. Eliash's shot. Now Adrian Kleinberg's in and shoots. That was blocked in front. Another Czech defender is down as that shot was blocked by Jakub Šedevík. And that defenseman is on the limp.
Šedevík is inching his way to the bench. That one caught him on the leg.
Schweiger moves in, drops it back for Elias. That pass misfired. So the Czechs might be down to 4D here for a few minutes. Tomáš Urbán had that knocked away by Glotzel, picked up by Klein. Back to Glotzel. Plays with your son in Cologne.
Yeah, he's a big lad, I'll tell you, just 19 years old, and Glotzel's 6'2", about 210 pounds, and handles himself very well in the DEL.
Akra Ziembor swings back now for Germany.
Ziembor plays in Mannheim in the DEL as well.
Lead pass for Bergard, chips that down to the Czech zone. Šedevík still being attended to on the Czech bench, so they are down to 4D for now. Puck moved ahead by David Spacek, and the puck poked away from Malat. Sebastian Malat tries to dig that free in the corner. Ivan comes in to help out. Malat drops it back, and the shot by Svozil goes wide. Ringed around the boards by Ziembor. That high shoot-in, glove down by Bugel, and he'll hang on.
So here in the bench, they're getting a look at Šedevík as he blocks that shot. You can see there's not much padding where he blocks it, and he's just trying to get off the ice here. Thankfully for he and the team, the puck was headed up the ice. He's got an ice bag on, and you just hope the sting goes away eventually. I mean, that's what I hear when you block a shot.
Rumor has it. Long shot. Bugel gloves that from Svozil.
And Šedevík's participation is critical in the light of 2 suspended players and this injury here to the youngster David Jiricek. Jiricek's going to be a very high draft pick this year. A knee injury, as Bob McKenzie reported in the pregame, will keep him out a minimum of a month. A huge loss for the Czechs. A tough break in his draft year for Jiricek.
I guess the silver lining is it doesn't sound like surgery is going to be required.
And you take just anything you can get as decent news if that's the case.
Rossby up for Noah Durham. That's knocked away from him. Kolacek gets bumped. And the puck loose at center ice. Kolacek comes busting in. Bugel knocked that away. Germany lost its first 2 games last year as Spacek winds in, fires, and Bugel gets the blocker on that. Knocks it up and out of play, but then recorded a couple of wins, qualified for the quarters, and gave the Russians all they could handle in their quarterfinal matchup, losing 2-1.
Lots of room here as Lubna finds Tihacek coming in from the point. He's got all kinds of space. Look at the attack and positioning of Bugel as he's out on top of the paint, and he's able to get the right arm on this shot. Good positioning by the goaltender Bugel as a really dangerous play develops.
That long shot floats wide from Moravets. Spacek trying to knock it down. Long shot taken again by Kulik. And that's gloved by Bogle. No score here in the first period. You're watching the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship. Time now for Let's Get Hungry, brought to you by Skip the Dishes. We look at 19-year-old Jan Mysak playing in his third straight World Junior, the captain for the second straight year.
He'll touch every part of the Czech game. I didn't think he had a great night in the opener. He was a little quiet. They're going to need more from Mysak. He plays with an engine. He's got, 31 points this year in Hamilton in the Ontario League in just 25 games, and they're going to need him to score before this tournament's over. 2
years ago, he went to Hamilton right after the tournament and scored 15 goals in 22 games in his first OHL season.
Last year played in the American Hockey League, 22 games in Laval.
Long shot by Ilias. That's gloved by Bednash, who hangs on.
He's a good player. I mean, there's going to be some size added to him. He's just about 175 pounds right now, so he'll get a little stronger, a little more power and balance in his game. 2 goals last year, a goal the year before in Ostrava, and he's going to attack. When he gets the puck, he's thinking about how he can create something off the one-on-one attack, if that's possible.
Ziambor to blank with a shot through the traffic. Bednash gloves it down. And a battle for the loose puck goes back to center ice. Michal Guk trying to play that ahead, but Ziambor has it back for the Germans. So in a format, the IIHF, where you can dress 20 skaters as opposed to the 18 in the NHL, there's a steal now and a quick chance. That's fired and partly blocked. Providence got the shot away, was blocked in front. But unusual that a team would be caught short on defense, given the size of these rosters.
What are the chances? You've got 2 guys suspended, and then you lose a defenseman through injury. And
here's Ivan with it. Ivan, who plays for Kate Breton in the Quebec Major Junior League, dropped that back. Volek picked it off. And Maciek Rukowski has it back now for Germany. A sloppy change of the German bench.
Goodness.
Guys hopping on and off everywhere.
There was some miscommunication there.
Malak lays it back around, looking for Martin Rishavi. Taken away by Iham. For Leonard. Crossed the line, but the play's offside as Yannick Burkhardt was ahead. And the play is called.
We saw Jakub Shedivi block a shot for the Czechs. A dangerous play that he had to jump out, get the block on. Well, it's the same thing at the other end of the ice here. As a turnover leads to a one-timer from about 8 feet in front of the net, and the block is made. Look at this change. Guys coming in. Are you coming? No, I don't know. I can't go. As you see Munzenberger standing on the boards, he wants to go, but his player that he's taking is in the play. Somehow they got out of that without a too many men on the ice penalty.
Leonard with the steal ahead for Burkhardt. Burkhardt centers it, and that's broken up by Svozil. Knocked ahead by Glutna.
Keep your head up when Munzenberger's there. He likes to jump up into that middle of the ice.
Munzenberger, number 15, who plays at the University of Vermont. Knocked that along the boards, and that shot drifted wide by Svozil.
And not only does he play there, he's a straight-A student while he's there. I mean, I just find that fascinating and amazing that these European kids can go to an American university and do that.
Here he comes, a backhand shot, flipped that wide. You mentioned he had the goal for Germany. In that loss to the Finns. He led all players in the game with nearly 23 minutes played yesterday. Here is Schubert. Moves that by Kulik. Long shoot in, and Bednash gloves that. Gets a snow shower from Bennett Rossby. That's never appreciated.
We'll talk a little bit about Luka Munzenberger throughout this game. Here he is in the middle of the ice as he jumps up to close on Coase in the neutral zone. You got to be aware where he is on the ice, and he shows off a little bit of skating ability as he jumps up into the rush. Little backhand flip. Yesterday he scored a nice power play goal. There was a turnover just inside the blue line, and he ripped it by the Finnish goaltender Marilainen. And really a notable player. The Oiler pick is he's an aggressive kid.
Drafted with an extra pick the Oilers got to move back in the first round, a third-round pick. Here's Glotzel with it. Maximilian Glotzel. Up ahead for Noah Dunham. Dunham tied up. A number of these German players like Dunham play for multiple teams in the junior league than the DL. As Klein's long shot is gloved by Bednash. And it's the same for the Czechs. A number of their domestic players do the same thing, but the Czechs have a difference. 11 of the players on their roster are playing in North America.
Yeah, so when these players go up and down, it's basically from a, as we would consider it, a pro team to their minor league affiliate and even into their junior team. That's all in the same system. And so in theory, you're going up and down and still playing for the same type of coaching and the same development, but man, it must be difficult to play for multiple coaches every year.
Now brought in by Michal Gut. Works it back and shoots. Save made by Bugel, and the rebound tapped wide. Szymanski on it. Schweiger couldn't knock it down. Kept alive, and Dahacek has it now for the Czechs. Works around Elias and shoots. That deflected just wide. Rabinets digs for it. Knocked free by Schweiger, but he couldn't clear it out. And Pilu works it back the other way for Ziambor. Elias spreads that pass ahead for Schweiger as the Germans change. Schweiger goes in. He's taken down by Spacek. Moved ahead by Yvonne. He was stripped off the puck by Munzenberger. And Germany back the other way. The pass for Blank out of his reach. Icing called against Germany. 9:42 to go in the first period.
Pretty evenly played first 10 minutes of this game. I think most people felt this would be a pretty tight game. There's not a lot of spaces. The Czechs almost break away free as Rishavi jumps on that loose puck. The puck had been flipped up in the air. Schuber misses it, and it turns into a little bit of a dive and scramble to keep the puck away.
Issue with the clock here. It ran for a few seconds before or after the whistle had gone, so they got to reset that. 9:40 remaining here in the first period. Still no score. Yvonne wins the face-off back, and that shot deflected. Bugel makes a good stop on the point shot by David Moravec. No score in the first period. You're watching day 2 of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Molson Export Canadiens hockey on TSN continues tomorrow as the Canadiens take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Puck drops at 7 Eastern, 8 Atlantic on TSN2 in the Canadiens region and on TSN Radio 690.
Kind of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, a lot of that going around.
Yep, both goaltenders are in protocol. They've called up a couple of American League goaltenders. The teams are allowed to have taxi squads now through the February 1st All-Star game, and everybody trying to figure out how that's going to work. Now they can use those players in the taxi squad up to $1 million, but they can't use them for cap avoidance.
Right.
So it can only be if someone's in protocol and you don't have enough players, you can use your taxi squad.
So you made the point about Mishak playing in the American League last year. One of the things that teams have talked about is you got to be careful with American League stats from last year because the American League wasn't the same league. Almost every team's top 6 or 7 players were on a taxi squad or an NHL roster.
I don't know how you take anything from last year and try and make sense of it. Even the teams that had to draft these players that were playing in all kinds of different leagues and all kinds of different numbers would have been posted. Really difficult to try and get a handle on them.
Schuber played that back for Munzenberger. Had to be careful with it. Losing the side of the goal and picked up by Daniel Leonhardt. And Leonhardt banks that down. Loose along the boards, and Lubna plays that back to center. Klein throws it back in. So Shedevy is back out there for the Czechs after blocking that shot earlier, so they're back up to 5D. I'm sure that feels just fantastic. That's fired wide.
I'll tell you when it won't feel fantastic is about 11 o'clock tonight. When it starts to stiffen up.
Lotso goes back. Gets bumped to the inboards by Jakub Kos. Novak flips that towards the goal. Bumped across by Glock. And Lotso moves it up to center ice, and a chance now for Rosmi. Bennett Rosmi works in. He's poke checked neatly there by Jahacek. Jahacek winds back the other way. And that shot whistled high and wide. Bob McKenzie mentioned that Michal Krutil is serving the second game of a 2-game suspension he incurred in last year's tournament. He's able to come back for their next. And that shot by Mishak is stopped by Bugel. Goes over the glass and out.
The Czechs get a dangerous chance here as Mishak's going to get the puck out wide, and he shoots it from almost on the goal line. He's got another option if he zips that across to Kulik, but he feels like he can't get the puck there, so he shoots it. It's turned aside by Bugel.
Mishak works it behind the goal. Ziambor. Elias moves that back to center. And backhanded in by Pilu. Yuri Kulik drops it back for Spacek. Svozil with it now. Stanislav Svozil.
He scored
that shot. Yeah, I was just saying, but almost like that. He went between the legs over the extra degree of difficulty yesterday.
Yeah, maybe he felt like the bag of tricks was empty. After that beauty, he scored the Columbus draft pick, scored a gorgeous goal against Canada. Up on the rush, he went between his legs to score, and here he shows his mobility off again, but he ends up out wide. Played nicely by Ziambor to keep him outside, and Bugel with the save. Showed off some pretty good wheels there, did Svozil again.
Plays for Regina in the Western League, had 9 assists in his last 10 games there. Teammate of Connor Bedard.
That's one way to get assists.
Never hurts.
But when he scored, it really had jolted Canada at 3-1 at that point. He played in the, like a few of these players, he played at the U18s in Texas in the spring, and here he is back for his second World Junior.
Centering pass by Gut goes back to the point. That long shot blocked there off the stick of Shedevy. Rutkowski bumps there with Shedevy, plays it back down the Czech zone. Moravec's back to pick it up. And here is Gut with it. Plays for Everett in the Western Hockey League. And Gut winds it across the line. Throws that back at the point. It skipped away from Svozil and back out. Shots are 10-5 in favor of the Czechs. Jahacek. Back for Svozil. Snaps that pass ahead. Chipped in by Rishavi. Now Munzenberger plays it around. That shot taken by Malat goes up and out. 5:57 to go in the first period. Still waiting for our first goal between Germany and Czechia.
Against Canada, already scoring 2 goals, Stanislav Svozil scored this gorgeous goal. It was 3 goals in 6 minutes or so for the Czechs, and they took a 3-1 lead before Canada came back to tie at 3 by the end of the period. But a pretty slick move by Svozil.
A defenseman.
Lots of goals by defensemen in that game yesterday.
Yeah,
Canada had 5 of them.
In comes Klein across the line, but the play is called offside. Like, lots of forwards have the creativity, the courage to try to move like that.
Well, but there's more and more defensemen now that can get up and just change the game with the way that they attack offensively. You know, you think of a Cale Makar or a Quinn Hughes or Miro Heiskanen. I mean, they take the puck and you can almost feel the tension defensively. Like you've got to account for somebody else more dangerous. That's the way the game is now. If you can't push from the back end, you're going to be really limited how much you're going to be able to score.
A pass for Yvonne, missed. Icing was waved off. Malat trying to dig that free, picked up by IIHF.
I guess I could add Norris Trophy winner Adam Fox to that as well.
It's a long list.
It's getting bigger and bigger all the time. The old stay-at-home guy, not so popular anymore.
Tahacek moves in. He got slammed there by Glotzel, who doesn't pass that many chances to hit.
No, that was about a 40-pound weight differential on that hit as well.
Moravec goes back to pick it up. 5 to go in the first period. We thought this might be the case today, that it would be like this. Of course, the Czechs are playing short. The Germans have lots of confidence. Boy, you think about what a team they'd have. You had Tim Stutzla with J.J. Peterka and Lucas Reichel together as a top line. In comes Lubna now on a 2-on-1, and a good stick there by Ziambor broke it up. Rosmi moves in. Rosmi shoots. That's way wide. And picked up by Joshua Szymanski, whose dad's from Oshawa, Ontario. Was a teammate as a kid of former Edmonton Oilers Kevin McClellan. I'm going to say they were different kinds of players.
Yeah.
Munzenberger, a shot that goes wide. McClellan made his bones breaking other people's bones here for the Oilers.
Yeah, that group they had there at that end of the roster was not a very friendly area of play. You'd rather go out and take your -3 than play those guys.
Back at the point, Munzenberger, a shot that hit a leg. And sit back down to the German zone. Icing called against the Czechs. They got tired guys on the ice.
The Czechs had a dangerous opportunity here. This is a gorgeous pass through the middle by Kolacek, and he's sent in Hulubna on the 2-on-1, but he whiffs on the pass. Look at this pass, threading the needle, beauty. And really good support by Lubna to come through at the right time, but he's got a wide open pass to Coase. He just fanned on it as it went across the ice.
Volek battles for the face-off. Volek had the distinction of being the most penalized player in last year's tournament. Blank tries to bank it back to him.
Oh, and here's the first power play.
And Moravec is going to go off. Extra skater comes on. It's Elias. And the Germans have possession. So 3.5 to go here in the period. Blank works in. Chevy goes back and finally touches up. And so Germany will get the game's first power play.
In a game that looks like it's going to be tight most of the way, a power play goal may be the difference as David Moravec
Czechia
takes this penalty right in front of the net as Volek goes to get to the loose puck. His stick's between his legs, and when Volek goes down, the arm goes up. And the German power play that scored one time against the Finns, it was the turnover that Munzenberger scored. They'll get their first crack tonight.
He's out there now, so the Germans on the man advantage against the team from Czechia that's short-handed in more ways than one. Just 4 defensemen to choose from to kill penalties. But now a chance short-handed, and that's swept away from Tomáš Urban. Blank. Lead pass to Szymanski. Now Szymanski moves in, that's knocked away from him. Schweiger trying to work it free. Back at the point is Munzenberger. And the Germans get set up. Szymanski. Back in the corner to Schweiger. Munzenberger across to Blank. Has a look and shoots. That's blocked, and a chance now short-handed. But Malat couldn't get there in time as Munzenberger ranged back and took it away from him. And the Germans will change now. Picked up now by the captain, Florian Elias. Leaves that back for Maximilian Schubert. Up ahead for Pilus. Pilus tries to play that back, but it's knocked down by Schubert. Another chance for the Czech short-handed. In comes Ivan now. It's a 2-on-0. Ivan across, and a penalty coming as Ivan fed that across to Mishak. He goes tumbling to the end boards. And that's going to do it for the power play. The officials conferring. I wonder if this is thought of a penalty shot here.
Yeah, a little bit of a sloppy.
Team Germany number 7, hooking.
sloppy entry into the zone. It led to a puck bouncing around, and the Czechs quickly counterattack on it. Ivan has got Mishak going to the net. There's the hooking penalty. As that puck's rolling, he throws it across. Oh, it's another good save for Bugel. As Mishak is turned aside as he shows off some really nice movement side to side to make this stop, and we'll have some 4-on-4 play, and then it'll be about 90 seconds of Czech power play time.
Team Germany penalty to number 7.
Lubna, long shot.
2 minutes for hooking.
Lubna gathers it back up. Plays that back to Gut. Meanwhile, Gut a centering pass, and Lubna couldn't quite reach that. There's Lubna back with it. Spacek comes drifting in. Back at the point is Svozil. Svozil spinorama in front of Rosmi. Tries it again. Svozil still on it. Holds and plays it across. That's knocked away. Now Rosmi in a race, and Bednash, the goaltender, comes up to play it and finds Gut as the Germans are changing. Gut works in, and Schubert takes that away. So the Czechs down on the power play. Munzenberger lifts it back to center. Back is Mishak for it as we enter the final minute of the first period.
1 minute left in the first period.
In comes to Hacek. Slides that across and finds Kolacek. Kolacek plays it across, and Novak, fan of that one-timer, he ripped one for a goal against Canada. Exactly like that. Novak takes the return pass from Hacek. Moves it and shoots. That's blocked. Rebound loose in front. Kolacek couldn't find it. Dunham gets to it and sends it down the ice. And Bednash once again out to play it. Mishak works that in, but the puck goes way up and out of play. 19 seconds to go here in the period.
An excellent period for Florian Bugel in the German goal. He has showed some nice lateral mobility. He's made a couple of stops when he's had to come out and square up to the puck. So the Czechs here, if they can win a draw, have 19 seconds of power play time left.
And they do. Ivan wins that back to Spacek. And now Novak's shot was blocked in front by Glotzel. Spacek with it. Flips it back across. Mishak with a shot that was blocked. Centering pass and a quick chance there as time expires. Kolacek got it away. And Bugel makes another good stop. There'll be just 5 seconds of power play time to carry over into the second period, but Germany and Czechia are scoreless through 1. You're watching the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton and Red Deer on TSN. Our first intermission with James Duthie and Bob McKenzie is coming up.
The first intermission is brought to you by Verbo. Download the Verbo app and get your team together today.
Day off for Canada today, right back at it against Austria on Tuesday. We're going to show you some highlights coming up of Austria and the Finns. Rough day for the Austrians, a 7-1 Finnish victory, and then the back-to-back for them, the toughest one of this tournament. Finland and then Canada, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're on the air for the pregame show, 4:30 local here in Alberta and 3:30 Pacific time. Back with Bob McKenzie, and Canada could be down 2 forwards for that game, 1 via injury, 1 via suspension. We'll start with the injury. Xavier Bourgault does not practice with Canada today. What's his status?
Well, Team Canada head coach Dave Cameron was asked that very question and simply said no update. So no one's saying that he's concussed, no one's saying that he's not, but there's no question that he took a high, hard hit to the head and shoulder and neck area and wasn't able to come back late in that game. So we'll have to wait and see, but he didn't practice today, maybe not a huge surprise. As I said, I'm not going to play doctor, but if he is concussed, then there's no telling when or if he'd be able to come back
Right.
within the tournament. If he's not concussed, then maybe it's just precautionary, and he'll sit out against Austria so as to be on the safe side.
Fellow Canadian forward Justin Surdiff was on the opposite end of one of those high hits in the game against Czechia. A 2-minute penalty is all he got there, but could get more from the IIHF today.
Yeah, he could. The IIHF Disciplinary Review Committee has looked at Surdiff's hit late in the game against the Czech Republic, and you're right, it only picked up a 2-minute minor. Easily could have been a major based on the standard we've seen called for head hits and late hits, and that was both as far as Surdiff's hit. So in practice today, he skated as an extra forward, didn't go on his normal line with Ridley Gregg and Jake Neighbors. So maybe Team Canada expecting that there could be something coming down the pipe any moment on maybe a 1-game suspension for Surdiff, in which case he would miss the Austria game. But again, nothing official yet from the IIHF.
Right, so it seems like Canada's expecting him not to be there. So what did the lines look like today, and can we read into anything for tomorrow?
I wouldn't necessarily read too much in, but this is the lineup that they ran at practice today. Lots of changes. So Maverick Bourque was playing right wing with Kent Johnson and Mason McTavish. He moves into the middle with Cole Perfetti. Now, that pushes Shane Wright from center with Perfetti to the right side, and that pushed Connor Bedard down with Will Cooley and Elliot Denoye on the fourth line. The Neighbors Ridley Gregg line now has Dylan Gunther on the right side. He was the 13th forward, so lots of manipulation all over the place. How much to read into them off practice? I'd say let's hold back just yet.
And Stankoven, who was a scratch in the first game,
Yes,
gets into a
14th
top
forward.
6 good spot, gets in with Mason McTavish and Kent Johnson. The other change, Brett Brochu will start in goal for Canada. Now, I suppose it's hard to know if this is something where he could be vying for the #1 spot or just getting him some action.
This was part of the plan.
Okay.
This was not a reaction to anything that Garand did or didn't do in the first game. Keep in mind, Garand, he gave up 3 goals on 7 shots in the first period, but then he shut the door after that. I believe it was Dave Cameron's plan from the get-go in the second game against Austria to give another goaltender some work. And in this case, it's Brochu. Now, Brochu didn't get in a pre-tournament game. Sebastian Cossa did.
Right.
Cossa gave up 3 goals on 11 shots in his half game, and Brochu suddenly kind of became the de facto #2 based on his status as Garand's backup in that game against the Czech Republic. So Cameron did confirm today, as you said, that Brett Brochu of the London Knights will be getting the start against Austria. I would assume, and again, careful, you know what they say about assume, Garand would be the starter in the game after that, and we'll see.
Yeah, and probably New Year's Eve against Finland is when we'll truly know the starting goaltender for Canada for the rest of the tournament into the quarterfinals. Finland with a big victory today. The Russians as well. Highlights just ahead. Lacrosse action in NLL on TSN continues Thursday with a Game of the Week showdown between the Thunderbirds and Roughnecks. Coverage begins 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, only on TSN. We promise you World Junior highlights. We have them for you right now. Austria and Finland, first game here this morning. Little logjam as both teams take to the ice. In Finland's Kasper Puttio was not happy. He just kept chirping for about 45 straight seconds. Don't block us. We're trying to get on warm-up. First period, Brad Lambert, who's had a really strong start to the tournament. It continues, sets up Ville Koivunen. It's 1-0 Finland. Then it's Koivunen's turn. Sweet little pass to Samuel Hellenius, who has his third of the tournament already. 2-0 for the Finns. You pretty much have an idea where it's going. Check out this play, Koivunen. He's on his rear end, his butt. Scores a goal. I don't know why he did that in a British accent. 7-1 Finland's final. That made no sense whatsoever. Russia, Switzerland, first period. Dmitry Zlodeyev recovers his own rebound. And he will score. 2-0 Russia. Still in the first, they'll work it around. And Pavel Butnev scores the goal. 3-0 Russia. They go on to win it. 4-2 is the final. So the Russians are even at 1-1 after their loss last night to Sweden. This one, even after one period of play between the Czechs and Germans. The second, just ahead with Gordon Ray.
The first intermission was brought to you by Verbo. Download the Verbo app and get your team together today.
Your Verbo lack of scoring summary. This is only the second period of the tournament so far that has had no goals, period. There was one in the Russia-Swiss game earlier on. Let's see if we get one in the second with Gordon Ray.
Here's Team Ray, including goaltender Florian Bugel, who was terrific in that first period.
Really was. He didn't play the first game as Nikita Kwap played, and actually played quite well against the Finns. But in that first period, we saw Florian Bugel, the returnee from last year, put on a show. He was terrific. Really quick legs, low when the puck cuts towards him. He was excellent. Made a really nice stop on Tahacek, who walked in the slot into about 15 or 20 feet. And as the Czechs had the more dangerous chances, he was equal to all of them. He had a couple of wins in last year's tournament. It looks like the Germans have excellent goaltending as they split the first two games with both Kwap and Bugel and get a good performance from both.
This is Germany's 30th appearance in the top division at the World Junior Championship. Since it began as an official tournament in 1977, the Germans have never won a medal. So Elias has 5 seconds to serve on his penalty to start this period. Czechs have the shot advantage. Here we go. And we're underway here in the second period. Bednash back to pick it up. Plays it around. That was picked off. And a chance here at the line. That shot taken by Zianbor is broken up. But Bednash almost caused himself some problems there. Elias is back on the ice. And the teams are back to full strength. Schweiger for Elias. His centering pass missed Szymanski. Zianbor steps up and plays it back in the corner. Szymanski plays it back down, and Elias races to it. Throws that wide of the goal. And it's picked up by Spacek. So the Czechs with 5 D-men. The ice time was very evenly distributed among the 5 of them. As Kolacek works in and Bugel steers that away. All up around 6.5 minutes. They didn't lean on anyone for 8 minutes in that period. Szymanski drops it back. Elias shoots, and Bednash through the traffic makes the stop.
Well, as long as the game stays at 5-on-5, it'll be easier for the coaches to manage the 5 defense rotation. You start running into big minutes when you get into power play and penalty kill. You don't want some people in certain roles, and the way that first period played out would have been pretty nice for the Czechs. I mean, they controlled most of the play 5-on-5. Had 13 shots in the period. Had an excellent period.
Two of the issues, though, were that, well, for one thing, a defenseman took a penalty, Moravets, and then the other was Shedeby blocked a shot, was out for a bit, so there was lots of room at that end of the bench for a while.
And man, what a big loss for the Czechs to lose the players that they did. You know, it's one thing to lose a couple of players, but you lose your leader on the blue line in David Jiricek, and a 19-year-old in Radek who was suspended, and Krutil, who's a Chicago draft pick they haven't had for the first 2 games on the blue line, and major holes to the back end there.
They'll get him back for the next game against the Finns in a couple of days, and now it's stealing a chance for Munzenberger on the break. Look at Munzenberger in, and he's stopped point blank by Bednash. He lost the puck for a second, and Munzenberger slams his stick to the ice in frustration.
And once he lost it, he lost all his options as well. The only place he had was to really go back against the grain, and good stop by Bednash, though.
Picked up now by Munzenberger. And takes the return pass from Schubert, but now lost it. And Schubert goes back. Schubert winds through center ice, jumps it across the line. Schubert shoots, that deflects wide. Bouncing puck on the side of the goal. Picked up by Burgart. He gets loose for a moment. He centers it. Leonard taking a shot away. Brought up by Ivan. Ivan. Up from Malat. Comes steaming in. A backhand shot. Stopped by Bugel.
Great wheels off the wing by Malat.
Now Leonard will try spot check. And Spacek stays with him. David Spacek up to center ice. Ivan plays it across to Malat. Comes down the other wing. Ivan with a shot that deflected just wide off a skate. And a chance now for the Germans back the other way as things open up here, but that pass is picked off by Svozil. Two Germans collide. 2-on-1 now. Svozil works in, shoots, and Bugel gets an arm on that. Boy, lots of chances at both ends here in the opening moments of this second period. Kolacek looks ahead to Lupna. And now Rossby can't bring it ahead. Kos up for Kolacek. He lost the handle. And Noah Dunham plays it in. Dunham's dad is from Edmonton. Jason is now the general manager of Straubing in the German league. The Tigers, right?
Yes, it is.
You being our leading authority of the DEL now.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Moravets winds through center ice. Lines that for Novak, gets a step. Pavel Novak, a sharp angle shot. That's turned away. Here's Mishak with it. Laid back across. Svozil. Good pass to Mishak. Shoots. That goes wide up the other side. Picked up there by Radek. Or rather by Kulik. And now Svozil, long shot, and through the traffic, the glove save is made by Bugel.
Stanislav Svozil has shown a couple of times his mobility. Jumps up into the play to read the cross ice pass, and then as two German defenders collide, he's now head up, got a chance on the 2-on-1, and he wants to go top blocker. Oh, it's a right arm save by Bugel. The Czech speed is starting to become a problem here for the Germans as they've started to get out into the open ice a little bit. Here's the breakaway, well read and played by Munzenberger, but you see when he loses it, the puck goes to his right, and as he draws it back, there's only one place to go, and that's a well-read save by Bednash in the Czech goal.
Germany won the last meeting at the 2020 World Junior Championship in the Czech Republic. Also beat them the time before that. That was back in 2013 in Ufa, Russia. That would drop pass. Rutkowski to Blank, scores! Alexander Blank roofs it, and Germany's got the lead.
Arthur Blank with his first of the tournament. A long cross-ice pass that is retrieved nicely and pushed up the wall here by Rutkowski. He squeezes by to Hacek, and Blank, who has got 3 goals in 28 games in Krefeld in the German league, bounces this off the shoulder of Bednash. And Germany, after the run of play has been going the other way, scores on the transition game, and it's a 1-0 lead.
Another second-generation World Junior player. His dad, Alexander, played in the '98 tournament in Helsinki. Now Bergard with a steal. Looks in for Leonhardt, takes the return pass, comes in, and the puck rolled off his stick. Another close chance for Germany, seconds after scoring the first goal of the hockey game. Ivan comes back. Ivan drops that back to Hacek. Back to Moravets. That shot was blocked. And Ivan sends it in. We saw this last year with the Germans as well, Ray. No team cheers a shot block like they do.
And they lay it out. They are all in here. It's a... We talked about it a couple times. I mean, you get what they have. There's not much left in the tank for them. They lack the top end that they had on their roster last year, but they've kind of hung in there. They've had a really great performance in goal from Florian Bugel so far, and they get one transition, one free ice rush, and a goal by Blanc, and it's 1-0.
Hacek put that wide. Kolacek has a stolen win by Elias. He lost it back, though, and it's picked up by Lubna. Across to Svozil. He shoots. That was tipped in front of Bugel. He steers it away. Whereas last year the Germans had all the COVID problems before the tournament began in the early stages of it. Only 14 skaters dressed in the first 2 games. They got pummeled 16-2 by Canada. Won their next 2, though, as IIHF works in and shoots that wide. And as we mentioned, in the quarterfinal, gave the Russians a handful. It was one of the most incredible stories we've seen authored in this tournament.
And you felt so bad for them early. They just had no players, and they just got run over. It looked like they were going to get pushed out of this tournament.
IIHF works in, drops it back for the trailer. Szymanski comes in, backhands it back in front. Schweiger with that.
Well, Schweiger didn't see that pass. That's a great play by Szymanski.
Now centers it. IIHF try to poke it back. And it's brought out by Kulik. Now Mishak with a chance. Moves in. Mishak walks in and fires, and Bugel makes the close save on that.
Mishak wanted the pass early, but it was taken away nicely by the German defender. And get to stop. He had all kinds of time, and he wanted to go right under the bar, but Bugel beat him with it.
And now that shoot-in called icing against the Germans. So Alexander Blank has the lid lifter here this evening.
Bugel getting a drink here as the icing call is going to take a little bit of time. Here's the chance with Mishak. You see the 2-on-1 develop. He's got wide open in the slot is Lubna, and he wants to go there, but it's played nicely by Glotzel that he can't go across the front of the net. He shoots it, and it's turned aside. There's that chance that Germany had Szymanski. That's a nice play, but not being able to pick up the pass with Schweiger in front of the net.
Of course, the tournament was played here last year in Canada, and the Germans were aware of some of the media coverage of people that said they shouldn't be in the tournament, that the format should be changed, reduce the number of teams in the field. And it bothered them because they've really worked with their program the last few years, and they've proved a lot of their doubters wrong by the end of the tournament.
I mean, when they got to that quarterfinal game, that did not go like Russia thought it was going to.
Rakowski moves in and shoots it wide. Another bouncing puck and right kicked away by Bednash. I mean, they got it within 1 in the third period. They were all over the Russians the last 5 minutes. And now Blank with it. Alexander Blank drops it off to Volek. Volek back at the point. Munzenberger keeps it alive. Another centering pass knocked away. You wonder at what point this Czech defense will start to wear down, Ray.
Well, don't forget, they did play last night. And
right.
Germany mentioned, you know, when we were talking to Germany's coach, Tobias Abstreiter, he mentioned the 5-6 extra hours of rest he thought might be a factor. And that was before they knew about the injury to Juracek, you know, in certainty. They knew, they had an idea he wasn't going to play, but also the suspension to Hradek. You get, I mean, that little bit of time matters. You get to bed late, you get up and you try and shake the cobwebs out, and here you are right back again, and you look down and there's only 3 other guys on the bench beside you because that's all you got on the blue line.
By the way, you see the uniforms say Czech Republic, even though they have asked to be called Czechia. The new uniforms are on order. Bednash, save, rebound, loose. Now he's tapped wide by Aham. Another chance, Aham, a little backhand shot. He's poke checked there by Bednash. Love down the line by Pilu. Here comes Germany again. Ahab. Down to Leonhardt. And Leonhardt fights for that loose puck. Long point shot kicked out by Bednash. Rebound. Bergard turned away. The first shot from Suber was a hard one. Here he is again. Suber winds and shoots. That's blocked in front by Good. And again, Suber holds the line, but this time it's knocked out by Brabenec.
Left pad save, right pad save. Bednash with 2 really good ones.
Here they come again. Bergard with a chance. Rebound. He flipped that high.
Well, the first period it was Bugel. This period it's Bednash who had to make some really difficult stops.
Tomasz Urban works in. He's squeezed off the puck by Pilu. Spozil. Crisp pass ahead. He finds Urban. Little backhand shot. Ivan turned away point blank by Bugel. And a wide open second period here. Ivan spins back as the Czechs are changing. Ivan. Oh, what a move there. Walks in and shoots. And that was blocked in front. This time by Pilu. And again, the Germans are up and cheering the shot block. Ivan works it and shoots. Blocked again. At the line, held by Tahacha. Halap feeds that back. Spozil. Back in the corner to Ivan. He falls. Svozil has it back, fans on the pass, and a chance now for the Germans. Rosby busting out. In comes Rosby, gets the shot away. That was defended, though, by Kahacek. Dunham throws out to an open wing. Rosby reaching for it. Back to Szymanski. Has some time, centers it. And Dunham couldn't reach that. Svozil makes his way off the ice. Got a warning from the official. His chin strap was undone. That can be a penalty if you play with your chin strap undone. Calling you for that would by the way, make you snap.
I guess it is a penalty. Like, with all the things that are going on, you're like, hey, pal, I'm on my way to the bench.
Here's Schweiger with it.
Can't stop and fix it right now.
Alexander Blank has the goal, and Germany has a 1-0 lead here in the second period.
Jan Bednář had not much to do in the first period. The second period's been a lot different, and he's, in the last couple of minutes, had to be very sharp as Germany, after the goal by Blanc, has put a little bit of pressure on. He's been sharp. He's kept the puck out to the outside. Even though there's been some rebounds, he hasn't left them right directly in front of the net. And what was a pretty hefty shot advantage for the Czechs is now just down to 5, 22-17, and Germany with the one goal in the only goal in this game.
Bednář, a Detroit Red Wings 4th-round pick in 2020, one of 8 Red Wings prospects in the tournament. Close. Lost the handle. Here's Munzenberger with it. Slides that down. Elias shoots, and Bednář got an arm on that to knock it up and out.
Help us make the game we love more inclusive. Submit your game-changing good deeds today at ChevroletGoodDeedsCup.ca.
Another good stop for Jan Bednář. This one off of Florian Elias. Tried to go short side and up on him, but Bednář stayed up to make the stop.
Svozil banks that back out. Elias, the German captain, has it back the other way. Elias shoots, and Bednář steers that away. Elias' brother Moritz plays for Saskatoon in the Western Hockey League. That pass at center ice was broken up by Schubert. Nishak threads that pass ahead. Kulik in, shoots, and a glove save by Bugel.
Oh, as Bugel locked in. That was a very calm save on Yuri Kulik. Kulik's a draft-eligible player. I've been impressed with him. That kid can skate. Here's the save from Bednář on Elias. Oh, it actually hits the crossbar. And you see he goes back to him to say, oh, I had it. Yeah, maybe.
Bednář says not even a shot on goal.
Didn't even go, didn't even hit the net. Hit the net next time.
That's good. Of course, that's a big change in international hockey. Right? For the longest time, these kids wouldn't know each other. Right? You never would have played against each other, but now, under 16s, under 17s, under 18s, lots more international competition.
Of course, you're obviously in your same age group. You keep running into the same guys all over the place.
In comes Gut. That centering pass knocked down by Leonhardt. Blank. Lead pass from Rutkowski. Moravec goes back. He gets taken in hard. To use the boxing analogy, lots of German body blows in this game, just pounding on the Czech defense.
It's a very simple, straightforward game, and they play it in a direct line. It's not an easy game to play against, and there were moments where it looked like, to me, at the start of this period, that the Czech speed was getting to be too much. Now, the Germans get on the board, and all of a sudden they pick up a half a stride here. They look much more engaged into the game. They're much more aggressive on their forecheck.
And plays it around. Pelu seals the wall. Now the play back in by Rosby. Burkhardt squirted away. Lost the puck for a moment. Now Sebastian Mallat has it. Played for 4 teams in 4 leagues this year. That puck, that stick that knocked away, and a chance there for Ivan. That goes high. Chenevy with it. Battle for the puck in the corner.
Keep moving, keep moving.
Works it free. And watched by Rosmi, drops it down to Svozil. He was taken down by Ziambor. Rosmi steamrolled spot check there, but the Germans can't clear it out. Now Rosmi gets it back and finally does bump it out.
They're exhausted. They're just trying to get that puck out. They just escape.
And away comes Jakub Konechny with a rare
There's
shift.
only 3 Germans on the ice here.
Spot check shoots. That's blocked. As getting in the way there was Rosmi.
Now there's only 4. My goodness, they need to communicate a little better here.
Elias jumps in late. By the way, we mentioned the Czechs only have 5 defensemen dressed. As a result, they have 15 forwards in the lineup. So Konechny getting a rare shift here in the second period. Moravec drops that back. It's flipped wide by Lubna. Now back at the point is spot check, and he can't hold it. Okay, not having one guy on the ice is one thing. 2?
Yeah, but then one guy came on the ice. Like they didn't even come together. There's a lack of communication going on a little bit. Somebody's not paying attention or getting the message.
Munzenberger trying to knock that down. It's chipped in behind him to Novak. And Munzenberger takes the pass from Schubert. Munzenberger up ahead for Schweiger. Mishak for Moravec. Pokes that ahead. It's picked off and kept alive by Blank. And now Bednash gloves that down for Mishak. Mishak taken down by Volek, and last year's most penalized player gets one here. And the Czech Republic with 5:05 to go in the second period will go to the power play, down by 1. So the door swings open for the Czech Republic here late in the second period, down by 1 on day 2 of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Justin Volek in the penalty box. Last year he played 4 games. He had 27 penalty minutes in the tournament. There he takes a tripping penalty in the offensive zone and puts the pressure on the penalty killers.
Svozil plays it back across for Kulik to Svozil. Kulik works it and shoots. Pugel save. Rebound loose in front, and Lubna couldn't reach it. Now here's Gut. Now Gut centers it. That pass was deflected away. As Glotzel got a stick on it. Gut directing traffic. Svozil plays it across, and that long shot stopped by Bugel off the stick of Kulik. And now some pushing and shoving breaks out behind the play. The Czechs have to be careful here because often IIHF officials will take one.
Florian Bugel makes a good read to stop a couple of shots by the draft-eligible Mihail Krutil. Or I'm sorry, Jan Kulik. Kulik can really shoot the puck. He took the first shot was a wrister. This one's a one-timer. That's a good shot. And as Lubna's chipping away at the rebound, that brings the crowd in.
And the face-off.
Also, look at it. Both guys will go to the box here. Is it Klein and Hluba?
Both players, minor penalty for roughing.
So
stay 5-on-4.
Play 5-on-4.
Thank you.
You should be an official. You'd have been a great referee.
You know what? I don't know that I could have dealt with the stress of it. These guys, man,
here's the thing. You caused the stress.
Yeah, but don't think I was the only one out there. I mean, if you talk to enough officials, there were some other guys causing some issues.
True.
I just wanted to make sure everything was right. I was just trying to help. Not that they appreciated it, but...
Oh, Ray, we all appreciate your help.
I'm sure.
So now here's the chance. 5-on-4, minute and a half to go on the power play. 4.5 to go in the period.
Novak is out for the Czechs. He had the power play goal in the first game. Can really shoot the puck. He'll eventually work his way over to this left side.
Mishak back at the point as well, but the face-off was won by Rosmi. Now Mishak with it. Mishak, the Montreal draft pick, plays it back to Spacek. For Mishak, lots of traffic from Ivan in front. Mishak sets it up. Oh, bouncing puck, they score! Deflected in front as Mishak took the shot, and the game is tied at 1. Ziambor, the defenseman, was standing in front. It might have gone off him.
Mishak's on the left side. He's trying to work this puck across to Novak the first time. He couldn't find the lane. So now he's going to carry the puck down. Now he's trying to go across again to Novak all the way across the side. It hits the right foot right there of Ziambor. And a terrible break for Germany. A great one for the Czechs. And the game's tied at 1. Mishak's first of the tournament. Oh, you can see that passing lane was there. He has a good look at Novak across the seam. But he gets a better break, and it's 1-1.
And an offensive zone penalty by Justin Volek.
Not a good penalty, and while it's a bad break, those ones always seem to come back. Well, not always, but they always, it feels like, come back to bite you.
Inside 4 to go now in the second period of what is now a 1-1 tie. Elias trying to pull that out. And here comes Ivan the other way. Ivan to Malat. Now Malat back for Ivan. His stick was tied up by Schubert. Malat back with it. To Hachek. Back for Malat, swings it back across. Spozo walks right in, shoots, and Bugo makes a stop on that.
Man, has Spozo been dangerous from the back end today.
Now a centering pass. Ivan with a shot. Bugo stops that.
Bugo has been outstanding.
Malat. Tie up with the puck. Pick free. Oh, huge hit there by Spozo. He steamrolled Schweiger. And now Good comes in, but the play is offside at the German line. 3:02 to go in the second period. The captain, Jan Mishak, has tied the game at 1.
Seems like we've talked about Stanislav Svozil a lot tonight. It's about his mobility and offensive play, but man, does he step up into Schweiger right here. As Schweiger's got the puck, he thinks he's got room, but that skating ability closes off the ice. And a clean, solid open ice hit by Svozil.
Teams have combined for 30 shots here in the second period. 17 for the Czechs, 13 for Germany. It's been a good hockey game.
Been a really good game. There's been, while it's 1-1, there's been plenty of chances. The goaltenders have been outstanding.
Germany's brought an older team here. Only 3 of their players can return next year. And what would be of concern to them was a poor performance at the under-18s in Texas last spring. They finished 10th. There was no relegation, so they stay in the top division there. And they're the host country for this spring's under-18s. The Czechs, meantime, can bring back 11 from this team next year. Without a medal in the last 16 World Junior Championships. Brabenets drops it back to Gut. Puck loose in front for a moment, now brought back the other way by Blank. Alexander Blank. He passed to Rutkowski, missed him. And to Hachek, back to pick it up. Gut lost the puck to Leonard, who shovels that towards the goal, and Bednash sends it back for Urban. Tomáš Urban, stripped by Leonard, and that pass stolen back by Hachek. In for Mishak. Jan Mishak. Swings it around. Novak looking for it. Novak drops that back. In he comes. Novak holds. Lots of traffic. Still with it. And Novak is slammed down by Glotz. We've seen enough of that and knocks him off the puck.
Yeah, you get into that zone with Glotzel and he's going to finish the check on you. And he's strong and big, and he closes quickly. Novak found out there. He's going to find out. He's going to turn away and say, forget it. Yeah.
Glotzel fires that down to the Czech zone. Bouncing puck and reaching for it is Rossby. And that long shot gloved by Bednash, and he'll hang on.
Penalized players will come out of the box. Klein and Lubna had been in there for that scrum for about 30 seconds past the end of their penalty. So Jan Bednář is a 4th-round pick from Detroit, the Czech goaltender. And Sebastian Kosa is a 1st-round pick by Detroit. One of the Canadian goaltenders is 2 of the 8 players that the Wings have at this tournament.
And Lucas Raymond, who's playing for Detroit this year, still eligible to play in the tournament. Munzenberger shoots, it goes off a stick and bounces back in the corner. Ivan takes it off the glass and up to center ice. Rishavi tried to race in, that was knocked away by Schubert. In comes Ivan. And Bugel plays that away. Chance now for an odd man rush for Germany as Schubert jumps in. Along with Rossby, Schubert shoots, and Bednář makes the save. Final minute now of the second period. Malat works in. Defended by Munzenberger. Then Munzenberger gains the Czech line. Swings it in deep. Bednář out to play it. Chip there for Moravets. And Svozil. Long lead pass to Ivan at center ice. In comes Ivan on Munzenberger. Drops it back. Rishavi with a shot. And the save made by Bugel. Malat. Let that pass bounce away, and the Czechs will regroup. That goes off the skate of Malat, picked up by Ilias. Ilias works in, shoots. Looked off the pass, then fired that just wide. Svozil's 3rd attempt was knocked down by Ziambor. Then played back into the Czech zone. Dehacek. Shuttle there by Ilias. Here's a chance for Schweiger. Final seconds of the period, he fired that wide. Now moving up, Ziambor shoots. That went off a skate. And this period will end tied at 1 after 40 minutes. Blank for Germany. Mishak for the Czechs. And we're tied going to the 3rd. You're watching the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton and Red Deer on TSN. Our second intermission with James Duthie and Bob McKenzie is coming up.
The second intermission is brought to you by Canadian Tire, proud partner of Hockey Canada.
When the World Juniors are done, the CHL returns to TSN January 14th. Watch as the future of hockey battle for the opportunity to become the next generation of superstars. Welcome to the CHL on TSN, where every shift counts. James Duthie back with Bob McKenzie. 2 completely different games in those 2 periods. The first period was pretty much a defensive snooze fest, and that one was chance after chance. And you have to feel for Florian Bugel, who's having the game of his life, and yet pretty unlucky on the goal.
Yeah, the one that beats him is just bad luck. I mean, but you could say if you're Jan Mishak, you have to be good to be lucky. Mishak is very good. One of the best players in the Ontario Hockey League this season for the Hamilton Bulldogs. I thought he had a quiet game against Canada. Ray mentioned that, but here banks it in off a German player, and there's no other way to explain it. Just bad luck for Bugel because he's been fantastic throughout this game. But as I said, Mishak, he's done that before and probably with a lot more purpose usually.
I know you miss your coaching days with the Whitby Wildcats, so we're going to take you back with your Pond to Podium teachable moment brought to you by Canadian Tire. Go, Coach Bob.
Well, here's a tribute to our late great friend Howie Meeker. So the Czechs are in great spot here. They got 4 guys lined up in the neutral zone. They're not outmanned, but here's a problem. Number 14, that's Svozil. He's a forward. He's trying to play defense. He can't do it. That defenseman's going to move over and take that guy. The other defenseman's got to move over and take him, but he can't. And why can't he? Look at the Czech in the middle of the ice. He was lollygagging back, as Howie Meeker would say. And as a result, everything broke down once Svozil missed the guy on the wall.
I thought you were going to do the teachable moment as not to have 3 players on the ice for 10 seconds and not notice
That
like the Germans did. Craig Button will join us next for Hot Button Issues on the hottest players to start this tournament. Canada versus Austria tomorrow, and London night, Brett Brochu will get the start and goal, and he's excited, as you'll see in these kind of weird Zoom interviews.
Definitely really excited. Ever since I was a kid, I dreamt of that moment. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm confident when I'm at my best. So yeah, I'm going to bring that tomorrow and make sure that I, do the same thing. It's just another game. And, I've played a lot with London this year, so I'm going to bring that same attitude and same mindset to tomorrow's game.
I've been playing against him for a while in the IIHF. Like I played against him, I think he was there my second year. Yeah. In London. And, I think his stats were insane that year. Like he was one of the top goaltender in the OHL at that point. And, we played him lots, and I couldn't believe, honestly, didn't really know who he was the first time we played him. And he just kept getting better and better and taking the league by storm. And his stats kind of backed it up. And he's carried that momentum, being recognized by Hockey Canada, making the team.
They all look like Patrick Swayze in Ghost. Let's hope this technology works a little bit better as we bring in Craig Button from Red Deer, Alberta, the hardest working man in show business, does 2 games and 2 editions of Hot Button Issues. I ask you the questions, Craig answers the questions. Which was the play of the day for Team Canada on Boxing Day? The Mason McTavish goal or the Dave Cameron timeout?
The timeout by Dave Cameron, James. I mean, the key to a timeout is getting your team settled down and getting them refocused on what you need them to do. Owen Power said that's exactly what happened with that timeout. So it didn't just come at a critical point in time. It really set the table for Canada to take off.
Craig, who had the better 3-point game on Sunday? Was it Team Canada's Cole Perfetti or was it Sweden's Simone Edvinsson?
Pleasure to join you here, Bob. I would say Simone Edvinsson. And the clincher for me was the short-handed breakaway goal by Edvinsson. How many defensemen get breakaway shorthanded, let alone score and look like goal scorers? That's exactly what Edvinsson did. He was in command of the game, but this was the clincher as to who had the better 3-point game.
All right, which was the biggest disappointment for Russia in their loss to Sweden? Their special teams or their highly touted goalie, Yaroslav Askarov?
I would have to say Yaroslav Askarov at this point, James. It's a crisis of confidence right now, and Sergei Zubov does not have the confidence in Askarov to be the guy. I mean, it was 3-1. You really couldn't blame him for any of the goals versus Sweden, but when the third period started, clearly Sergei Zubov had more confidence than Guskov. He's played here for 1 year as a 17-year-old, 1 year as an 18-year-old, and to him be in this spot right now, lacking the confidence from his coach, is pretty significant and absolutely disappointing, not just for Askarov, but anybody thinking that he was ready to be the man in the net.
The bonus of this segment is you get to see full Craig Button, those spectacular socks, those spectacular shoes, the king of fashion at TSN. Let's beam you right back to Red Deer, buddy. You got a game to do. He'll be joined by Dennis Bayak for Sweden and Slovakia. I love those segments. They're just completely weird. We have a third beer ahead in what's been turned into an excellent game here between Germany and the Czechs. Gordon Ray will have it for you right after this. We're tied at 1.
The second intermission was brought to you by Canadian Tire, proud partner of Hockey Canada.
Second period scoring summary is brought to you by Canadian Tire. Blank and Misak with the 2 goals, and Florian Bugel, just a massive story in the German goal so far, saves every shot off the sticks of the Czech players, but the one in off his own teammate has the game tied. Gordon Ray, have your third period.
James, we began this day talking about the fact that the Czechs only had 5 defensemen dressed for the game, and one of them, Stanislav Svozil, who scored against Canada in the first game, has been terrific again here tonight.
He's been all over the place. Been super impressed with his mobility. A third-round pick by Columbus back in 2020. Svozil is a terrific player. He has shown his ability to get around the ice in both ends of the ice. There's a shot block in the first period. He'll jump up into the rush. He moves the puck at the right moment, but he's bold. He wants to find the open space. He wants to create. Each time he has it, he's looking to try and create something with his feet, open up the ice for his forwards, and he's physical too as he ran over Schweiger in the middle of the ice. with just 5 defensemen, you're going to lean on a couple of them more than others, and here we are in a 1-1 game, and Svozil will be a key member coming down the stretch.
Played more minutes than any other Czech player, 18 minutes and change coming into the third period, so.
Yeah, well, he's headed towards 26, 27 minutes.
Which you almost never see in international hockey.
Yeah, but they're down to 5 bodies, so now you don't have a choice.
The math dictates.
You need some space, hey boys. Okay, have a good one.
And here we go in a tied third period. Szymanski tries to dig that free. There was a key penalty call in the second period. Volek got called for tripping in the offensive zone. Czech scored the equalizer. Novak works in. Pavel Novak with a chance. Bugel a save. The rebound cleared away. As Ziembo got in the way of that. Now Szymanski for Schweiger. He gets crunched there by Svozil. Lifted high in the air and back down to the German zone. Schubert goes back.
So the Czechs will have a day off tomorrow before they play the Finns on the 29th, and they'll have 2 of their players back.
Right.
Both of the suspended defensemen will be back for that game.
Michal Krutil was suspended 2 games at the end of last year's tournament. In addition, Michal Radek was suspended for cross-checking against Canada yesterday. Here's Gut, centering pass, and Brabenets with a chance, and Bugel makes the stop on that. Brabenets. The other part of this equation, Ray, is that with 15 forwards dressed,
you got a couple over there gathering dust. I mean, they're impossible to keep everybody in the game here.
Schubert. Oh, what a move by Schubert, moving in, gets a shot away. Bednash makes the stop, penalty coming on the trip as Svozil will go off, and Schubert with a dash.
Man, what a rush. Maximilian Schubert, who played last year just a couple of games in the tournament, shows off a little bit of skill, and then he cuts to the net, a strong move from backhand to forehand as he pushes the puck through Shedivi. And there's the trip by Svozil. Man, Bednash has had a good game in goal too. We spent a lot of time talking about Bugel in the German goal, but Bednash has been excellent. Schubert checks to make sure he's okay as he crashed in pretty hard. Germany with their second power play and a chance to take the lead.
And now back at the point, Schubert with a shot that deflects wide. Loose in the corner. Moravets plays it around by Schubert and back down. So another key moment in the game. Schubert up ahead for Leonard. Leonard flips that in. Now Schubert. Back in for Pilou. Pilou back for Schubert. Cross he goes to Elias. He fanned the shot, and it's poked out by Malak. And Schubert goes rink wide for Pilou. Elias for Rutkowski. In comes Rutkowski. Getting things set up. Blank comes on late to change. The pass didn't get through to him. Spacek sends it ahead. Here's a short-handed breakaway for Ivan. Ivan, and stopped by Bugel. And he squeezed the pad together. Wasn't sure where the puck was. And a short-handed breakaway for the Czechs. Blank flips that in, but it goes off a stick way up and out of play.
This power play's been a mess for Germany here for 1 minute and 15 seconds, and thank you to Florian Bugel for keeping this 1-1 still. The Czechs go to clear the puck down the ice, and it's actually fanned on by Novak. He doesn't get much on it, but Ivan, who can really scoot, gets out in front of the pack. Bugel makes the save, but he's not sure where it is. It's in his blocker, it's in his pads, and so close to sliding back towards the goal line.
Bunsenberger. And now Szymanski's turn to fan in a pass, and Malat sends it back down. You've talked over the years, Ray, about how power plays can lift you and they can also deflate you.
Well, this one here is just pulling the air out of Germany. I mean, they're not even dangerous so far.
Schweiger tries to dig it free. Here's Blank with it. Time winding down. Munzenberger is shot, and that's blocked away by Bednarz. At the line, Munzenberger holds. It's picked off. Now Malat plays it ahead. Bounces back in front, and that shot was blocked as Urban had a chance. Teams are back to 5-on-5. One shot for Germany on the power play and a short-handed breakaway for the Czechs. 35-24, the shots on goal in favor of Czechia, which has asked for that name. Mentioned that before as AM moves in. In comes AM, shoots, and Bednarz makes the stop and hangs on.
You shouldn't require your defenseman to be so sharp defensively when you got the power play here. There's a nice play initially, and then a shot block. That's while they're shorthanded. Oh yeah, so was this. All on the German power play as this puck hits both pads of Bugel, and he keeps it out.
Here's Svozil back with it. Up for Kulik. A bouncing puck along the board, scooped up by Leonhardt. Out the center ice to Burkhardt. Svozil fires it back in. Klein drops it back. 4.5 gone here in the third period and a 1-1 tie. Brabenetz to Hotchek. And Shedevy sends it back down to the German zone. Rosmi moves in, gets squeezed off the puck by Moravec. They stay after it. Rosmi with a chance in front, tap that wide. Now Pilu gets thumped down. Shedevy moved up by Durham. Puck high in the air, Malat looking for it. In again with Ivan, but that's picked free and moved up by Rosmi. Rosmi, rink wide to Ziambor, and Germany will change. Moved in now by Konechny. He's one of those players who's been kind of left out today in the forward rotation for the Czechs. And a bouncing puck to Ilias, just bounced away from him. Munzenberger to Schubert. Schweiger got straightened up there by Spacek. And Rishavy races back for it for the Czechs. He was stripped. Tomáš Urban. Back down to the German line, Schubert. Ilias back down to the Czech zone. Spacek has it. David Spacek, the son of longtime NHL Jaroslav Spacek. David was born in Columbus, Ohio, and his dad was playing for the Blue Jackets. And Jaroslav played here for the Oilers as well in the 2006 Stanley Cup final. Ilias works in, slides that towards the goal. That's knocked away by Bednarz. In comes Urban. Tomáš Urban with a shot that goes off a leg. Now Klein works in. That's knocked away, and Glotzel goes back. Glotzel. Rink wide he goes for Rutkowski. And Rutkowski trying to dig that free. That clearing attempt knocked down by Blank. Hotchek has it back. Has it there for Kolachek. Now fired in by Mishak, and that rebound almost bounced right on the stick of Novak. Kolachek plays it back for Shedevy. Now a chance for Mishak, working in, shoots, Bugel the save, and quickly pounces on the rebound. 1-1 the score, 12:40 to go here in the third period. Lots of room at the defensive end of the bench for the Czechs, and here is the ice time so far for 2 periods. And Shedevy, remember, got shaken up in the first period blocking a shot. That's why he lagged so badly, but Svozil leading the way at nearly 19 minutes.
Yeah, and as the game stays tight, you might even shrink the 5 men to 4. Critical points here is you're in a group where you look at Austria and you think, okay, there's 3 points we can collect. Both teams are thinking the same thing, so this game becomes all the more critical for their placement.
Dougal plays that away. Pilou digs it free. And Germany breaks it out. Leonard up for Am, and icing waved off as Bednash is forced to play it. Robinette moves it up for Kulik. He's poke checked there by Pilou. Leonard back up to center ice. Spacek's got it. Moves it up ahead for Brabinets. Here's Brabinets to Svozil. Back to Spacek with a wrist shot that deflected wide. Lifted up and out of the zone by Ziambor. Both teams changing now as it's brought in, and a long shooter by Svozil, gloved by Bugel, and he'll hang on.
That's a good play as the Czechs were changing, and Svozil flips this into Bugel, but because he follows it, Bugel's got to hold it. Now you've got an offensive zone face-off. I mean, there's nothing going on here, and all of a sudden they've got a face-off to the right of Florian Bugel.
Off the face-off, Bugel steers that away. Szymanski flips it in. Joshua Szymanski goes after it. And a battle for it in the corner. Picked free by Schweiger. Now moved up by Malat. And away comes Sebastian Malat. Konechny holds, flips it back across. Moravec, who was shaken up earlier, gets a shot away. Bugel makes the stop. Ilias. Lead pass to Szymanski. Schweiger driving the net, but Bednash steers that away. Now Szymanski trying to dig it free. To Hacek. Lifts that high in the air, and Glutzel back to pick it up. Schubert. Throws that high in the air. It's gloved down at the line, and Tomasz back with it. Schubert ranges back and takes that away from him. Brings it down to Witkowski, and Volek moves it out. Svozil. Lead pass for Rishavi. Walks right in. The puck rolled off his stick. And now Schubert. Chipped it ahead. Volek's got it. Along with Witkowski. In comes Volek. Centers it. Knocked down by Svozil. And Svozil makes it off the glass and back down to the German zone as Glutzel goes back. 39-26. The shots on goal in favor of the Czechs. Germany's won the last 2 meetings in 2020 and then back in 2013. Germany wasn't in the top group from 2016 to 2019. And actually at one point almost got relegated out of the lower divisions at one point. Now a chance for Leonard with a shot. And Bednash gets a piece of that, and it goes up and out of play. 9:53 to go in the third period. It's a 1-1 tie between the Germans and the Czechs. Time now for the shift of the game, fueled by Gatorade.
1-1 third period. Big chance for Germany on the power play. However, it was Florian Bugel who was their best player. He stops Ivan on a breakaway as Ivan goes to the forehand. Bugel makes a couple of stops. He checks it out on the big board to see if the result is different, but it's not. Still 1-1.
No offense, Ray, but I don't think you know him well enough to refer to him by his first name.
We're going to get into this? Are we really? Are we? You have a face-off to call.
And it's controlled by the Czechs. Bouncing puck at center ice. Ilias lost it. And a chance now for the Czechs, but that shot by Josef Kolacek goes up and out of play.
This game has just been so tight. Nobody really been able to take it over for a long stretch of time. There's portions where the Czechs look too quick and like the game's going to crack open, but Germany is bent and not broken at all. What's been a very entertaining game.
Yeah, this has not been a case of one superior team just pounding the other one and the goalie holding a minute. This has been two good goaltending performances.
And don't forget the Czech goal was a pass by Mishak that deflected off the Ziambor, the defenseman's skate.
Disposal of shot, it bounces off a leg, loose in front. There's a backhand shot, that bounces wide again. Kulik with a chance there. Boy, two bounces there that almost found their way to the back of the net. Witkowski gathers it back up. Ziambor out to center ice. That's chipped away, and back goes Spacek for it. David Spacek plays for Sherbrooke in the Quebec Major Junior League. He finds Kulik.
Kulik's had a nice night here. The draft eligible forward he's been on it. Quick, got good hands.
Munzenberger leads the rush now for Germany. Up for Schubert. Drops it off to Rossby. Shoots. That got through, and Bednash made the stop. Now Schubert centers it. That almost found its way in. And Munzenberger has to range back, and Mishak racing in on him, but Munzenberger takes it away. Schubert picks it free. He's got Aham with him as Germany's changing, and Schubert tangles there with Moravec and a penalty coming. And it's going to be Moravec who goes for interference, so Germany gets another power play with 8:25 to go in the third period.
Good effort here by Schubert.
Interference.
As he chips and then he goes by Moravec. This is the play that draws the penalty most often, is when you chip it and go on the same side as your chip. When you go on the other side, like if he chips that up the boards and comes to the middle, it's a lot easier play for the defender just to turn and kind of ride you into the middle of the ice. Zuber follows his puck, draws the penalty, and for good or bad, Germany's on the power play here. I think right now, Gord, like given the way the last power play went, is just get the puck to Munzenberger at the point, shoot it. Drive in for a rebound, see what you can create that way.
Schweiger as Munzenberger mans the point. Szymanski looks down to Schweiger, that's picked off and sent back down the ice by Tahacek. It actually bounced into the Czech bench, so the faceoff's going to go back down to the Czech zone. I believe it will, so that's a bad break for the Czechs. And there is Tobias Abstreiter, the German coach. I got to say, they debuted those down vests at the Worlds.
Yeah,
that's sharp.
You know, last year it was the turtlenecks. Those guys all look pretty sharp back there. There's the puck that hits the bench and out. And they're looking pretty good in their vests too. Warm too. This building's not warm.
Oh, it's not.
Although I guess outside's not helping either. But
Munzenberger drops that back to Blank. To open the scoring in this game, Alexander Blank winds his way in. The pass for Schweiger missed, and here's Blank setting it up to Munzenberger. From Szymanski, bobbled the puck and pokes it back in, but as Blank touches up, that's offside. They're going to take that face-off all the way down to the German zone.
well, this would be hard to watch on the German benches. You know, you understand, of course, what an opportunity this is, and you can't even get out of the starting gates on it. Couple of bobbles, you chase the puck, you get a break. When the puck goes in the Czech bench, you get a face-off back down there again, and still nothing for it.
And the face-off control by the Czechs. Spacek plays it back for Svozil. Ivan, who had a short-headed breakaway earlier, chips that in. Pilu knocks it back to Schubert.
Given the way this power play's been, I'd look at putting Schubert and Munzenberger on the point. Just go with three forwards. Those are two of their most dangerous players. They're both defensemen. Get them out there together.
Mishak with the steal, sends it back in. Elias up ahead for Ziambor. And now Schubert works his way in. Long shot. Bednash makes the easy save there. Loose in the corner. The Germans get it back. Here's Pilu. Walks in and shoots. Bednash pad save. Elias with it. Rutkowski. Ilias. Takes the return pass from Rutkowski. Goes back to Schuber. Cross he goes. Pilu with a shot. That's wide. There's a big hit on Ilias as he was taken in by Malat. The Germans are hollering about that and thinking it was a hit from behind. Rutkowski chips it back down. Final seconds now, the power play. No shots for the Germans on that man advantage. And that long shot by Aham goes wide. Bouncing puck along the board, sent back in by Aham. Now loose at center ice and racing back is Peterson for it. You see Peterson who's not had a lot of ice time in this game today. Out for a late shift here in a tie game in the third period. A chance now for Michal Gut. Gut works in, swings it back in front, rolling puck, and it's flipped out by Peterson. 5:45 to go here in the third period. Bouncing puck, Schuber back for it. Up ahead to Rutkowski. Munzenberger up for Volek. Munzenberger with some time, dashes ahead, moves it across the line, goes after his own shoot-in. Munzenberger, he's taken down by Novak. And Moravec has it back. Pass up ahead to Mishak. And Munzenberger stepped into him. Now Novak with it. Side of the goal, loose, and that's knocked down by Bugel. Chedevy shoots, and that's blocked by Alexander Blank. Mishak gets bumped there by Munzenberger. One feature of this German team that you see all the time in their league is players standing on the bench. A lot of guys stand during the game. Ilias works in, backhand shot, Bednash save, and Szymanski couldn't reach it.
Oh, he tried to slide that back through the crease.
Konechny, his centering pass is broken up. Zienborg got a stick on that.
On the board, heads up here.
Now spot check with it. Threads that pass ahead. Konechny had it poked away. Ivan gains it back and fires it in deep. Malat with it. Malat pokes that back. Szymanski has it. Germans are changing. The puck goes to Schweiger, but Bednash ranges out. Now Schweiger steals it. Schweiger holds, feeds it back. Glotzel is shot, and Bednash makes the save on that and is able to hang on. 3:55 to go in the third. Lots of chances, but it's still a 1-1 tie.
Florian Elias thought he should have had a penalty as Mahat pushed him from behind into the boards. He turns around, he's like, hey, come on. It's from behind, and of course, you just see the referee come in, no, 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 no. So Elias felt there was a penalty, but here we are inside of 4 minutes in a terrific game, tied at 1.
If they're tied at regulation, it's a 5-minute overtime, 3-on-3, and then if necessary after that, a shootout. A number of these Czech players who play in North America have experience in the shootout. Now bouncing puck along the boards as Michal Gut looks for it. Picked up by Rosmi. Now Klein a shot. Adrian Klein shot turned away. Now Klein plays it back. Rosmi shoots. Bouncing puck goes just wide. Moravec with it. Another chance on the side of the goal. Leonard turned away.
Been 3 or 4 chances that have been inadvertent bounces at both ends of the ice. Makes you think that the winning goal is going to be something a little goofy off of someone's foot. Goaltenders have just been exceptional at both ends of the ice in this game.
And Schuber back to pick things up. Schuber, pass ahead for Blank. Blank knocks it down. Volek reaching for it, but knocked away from him. Volek holds, shoots it in. Bednash knocks it down for Svozil. Svozil out to Konechny. The bouncing puck goes to Malat. In comes Sebastian Malat. And Schuber Put that in the skates of the lot. Now Volek knocks it out by Svozil, and icing called against Germany.
The Germans were trying to sneak a couple of players off the ice here as the icing call is made. And the Czechs get Mishak and Novak out there, their best forwards. Now, as much as I don't know how much I think about offensive or about face-off stats, these ones, key moments, are the ones that matter. And the Germans win a defensive zone draw and are able to chip it out.
Puck loose at center ice. Through the first two periods, the Czechs had a wide edge in face-offs. They won 23 of the 39 draws in the game.
There's certain centermen that are just, when they need it, they're just way better at it. When they don't need the draw, it's almost like it's a nuisance for them.
Ron Francis, come on down.
No, Ronnie won them all the time. Honestly, the guy I think of right away is Wayne Gretzky. Is like, when he needed a draw, he would win it. He was so fast. And you'd win 3 in a row in the neutral zone, and it was like you didn't even care. He got the puck back anyway. He had to chase it, but...
Kulak get across the line.
That's a good call.
With the hot check, the play's offside at the German line. 1:24 to go in regulation.
Right at the blue line here is Gut is doing everything he can to hang on to the line as Kulik, who is, we've talked about a couple of times, goes to his right. They end up going offside. Gut had a goal and an assist. Had a couple of good chances tonight as well. Goal and assist rather in the first game.
Bednash out to play it. Brings that around, kicked up by Malat. Head back out of the German zone. Here's Klein with it. Klein leaves it there for Leonard. Blotzel. And Ivan, who had a great chance shorthanded early in the period, turned away. Lost the puck. Rossby is knocked away. In comes Ivan. Munzenberger back for it. Leaves it there for Schubert. Here comes Blank. Alexander Blank for Volek. 20 seconds to go in regulation. Spot check goes back. Squeeze that by the forechecker Rutkowski. And Novak brings it back the other way. Novak get across the line. Novak shoots. That goes off Munzenberger in line. Schubert's got it back. And played into the Czech bench. 1.7 seconds left in regulation time.
Well, the goaltenders will have some 3-on-3 to be dealing with here. It's just the 1.7 second formality face-off outside the blue line.
And so it's on to overtime for the first time in this World Junior Hockey Championship. It'll be Germany and Czechia on day 2, and the OT is coming up.
The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship is presented by Esso, proudly fueling Hockey Canada since 1984. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, we're using the power of our purpose to help make the world a better place. Together, let's make the future friendly. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship, brought to you in part by the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Chevrolet, find new roads. And by Skip the Dishes. Cheer on our team in true Canadian style with your favorite order on Skip, the official food delivery app of Team Canada. It's game time, Canada. Let's get hungry.
Between them, the two goalies have stopped 68 of 70 shots in the game, and it's on to overtime we go.
It'd be tough to get better goaltending than we've seen tonight, both from Jan Bednář in his first start of the tournament, Florian Bugel, his first start of the tournament. They've shown mobility and agility. They've had quick legs getting across the net, poised, not out of position, calm when the shots have come from in tight. An excellent goaltending performance for both goaltenders. A 1-1 tie as we head to overtime.
And 3-on-3 it is. Mishak versus Szymanski. And Szymanski wins the faceoff back for Munzenberger. Munzenberger. And watched by Novak, drops it back to Szymanski. Wanting with Schweiger. In comes Szymanski with a Joshua Szymanski with a shot. That's just wide. And the puck skipped off the boards, up and out of play.
Szymanski can really shoot the puck. He has an excellent opportunity. As Schweiger clears the space in front of him, he's going to wander behind him. Now he's got room to tee it up. And he just misses on the short side. It actually hits the outside of the netting and bounces off the boards up into the netting.
Face-off is won by Gut. Just what these 5 Czech D-men needed. Extra time.
Not going to be much grind here.
In comes Kulik. Kulik works free. He's poke checked. As Bugel going to stick on that. And now Spacek back with him. And watched by Leonard. Spacek steps away from him. Spacek with a lead pass to Ivan. Ivan works in. Shoots. Bugel save. Rebound. Spacek couldn't reach it. Leonard's got it back. First minute gone in OT. And the Germans make a change.
I hope Kulik has got another stick because he dropped his when he drove the net. And the referee handed it to the German bench. It's now down the hallway. He's not getting that one back.
Blank. As the German goal moves in, shoots, scores! Blank with a rocket, the overtime winner. And Germany takes it 2-1. What a shot.
Blank gets some open ice. It's a 2-on-2, but he's got the forward going backwards on his side of the ice. That's Ivan is outside. Now it's a great shot, but it really is a tough one for Bednář to give up. He can't give this one up here. As Blank's got all kinds of room to skate through the middle of the ice. This puck is from the goal, or from the bottom of the circle. Bednář is flat in the net. He's not square to the shooter. We'll get a good angle at it here. Watch how he flattens down and opens up the top half of the net. A rare mistake for Bednář in this game. Blank has both goals for Germany and a 2-1 overtime win.
And Germany has now won its last 3 games against the Czechs at the World Junior Championship. So a 2-point win for Germany, a 1-point loss for the Czechs, and things get even more interesting now in Group A as we move along. Time now for the player of the game presentations and then the German national anthem.
The best players of each team is proudly presented by Graham Construction. Each winner is awarded a one-of-a-kind hockey stick hand-painted by one of Canada's most prolific contemporary Indigenous visual artists, Jason Carter. Recipients will receive their award after they exit the ice. The best player of Team Czechia is number 3, David Spacek.
Had to be one of those 5D, didn't it?
Spacek had a good day and a disappointing result for the Czechs.
And the best player of Team Germany is number 29, Florian Bugel.
Stops 39 of 40 shots in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Germany. Mesdames et messieurs, merci de vous lever afin d'écouter l'hymne national de l'Allemagne. The 2022 IIHF World Junior Championship will continue tomorrow. Here
James Duthie back with you, and those are the moments that make this tournament great. You see the Canadians or the Americans when they win the gold medal, arm in arm singing the national anthem. This is a gold medal type win for a nation like Germany. Let's listen for a second. He said, but it was a fiery speech, Bob McKenzie. But this means a lot to them. There were no expectations for Germany coming into this tournament. Unlike last year when they had Tim Stützle and JJ Peterka. And to pull off a win like that over a favored Czech team, that's a massive moment for German hockey.
Yeah, it really is. And that was, you're right, that was an absolutely fantastic moment watching the anthem, watching the pure, unadulterated joy of the German players. And as you point out, they're missing their entire first line. Tim Stützle, Lukas Reichel, JJ Peterka. And yet here they come against the Czechs. And you can say that Florian Bugel, the goaltender for the Germans, was the star of the game, and he was to a point. But we said it in the first outing we saw the German team play, and we saw it here again. They work extremely hard. They stay in the hockey game all the time. And, I mean, the other thing they knew about this Czech team is that they were understaffed. They were missing their best defenseman in David Jiricek, who's out of the tournament. They were missing 2 other defensemen who were lost to suspension, one from last year serving the first 2 games of this tournament, another one who was suspended for a cross-check against Kent Johnson of Canada. So absolutely, and the longer they can stay in a game and get some goaltending like that, the more they believe in themselves. And in overtime, I mean, that was a tremendous shot, albeit Bednash was down and out. I know the goaltending experts, who are many, will say this is the technical way to play this, but
well, to paraphrase the great prophet Taylor Swift, I got a blank shot, baby, and it won the game. I should apologize for that, but I won't. We've been here all day long.
And James, I really would have liked to translated what they said there, but my grade 10 German, I got as far as Wie geht es Ihnen? Es geht mir gut, danke. So Frau Adams was a good teacher, but I wasn't a very good student.
I feel like that's the way you talk after a couple of Bobby Margaritas. Bobby Margaritas.
We're going to find out in about 5 minutes.
And so, again, in essence, that game was probably I say probably because, look, we're on day 2 of the tournament. There could be other upsets, but in all likelihood, with Canada and Finland in the group and Austria in the group, that game was probably for 3rd and 4th place, which means the 4th place team would end up playing the 1st place team on the other side. The 3rd place team would play the 2nd place team. So, I mean, it's pick your poison, whether you get the Americans or Sweden or Russia or whoever it may be. But a huge win for Germany to get the 2 points. Remember, it's 3 points for a regulation win at the World Juniors, 2 points for an OT or shootout win, and you get 1 point for getting to OT, and that's what the Czechs do in this case. So Finland, with their win earlier today, leads the group with 6 points. Canada can even things up if they beat Austria tomorrow, and the Austrians will have to pull something off against Germany, likely, for them to move on, or Czechia. The other side, Sweden, the U.S., and Russia, all with 3 points now. The Russians, though, have that extra game played and an extra loss so far.